Okay, everybody, this is my spoiler review of the new HBO series Task, Episode 1. Before I jump into my review, make sure to hit that sub button so you don't miss one of my reviews and hit that notification bell so you really don't miss them. And follow me at Steve Varley Show on Instagram. I could really use the help and followers. It'll help me in so many ways you have no idea. I post a bunch of fun stuff over there. I'm going to break my review into two parts. We're going to go into everything going on with the character of Robbie, played by Tom Pelphrey first. Then we'll go to everything going on with Mark Ruffalo, the character of Tom. So with Robbie, we see that he's already opening the scene where we're learning so much about his character. He is tucking his kids in at bed at night. He's listening to a radio ad about Cupid's Plan, which is a dating site. So he's obviously looking for love. And he's this garbage man, and we learn he is scouting houses that are drug houses to rob. We also meet his friend who's his partner in crime and also is a garbage man that works with him, Cliff. And he's telling Cliff that he thinks he's ready to share his life with somebody again. He's the type of person that needs a life companion, and it's been almost a year since Karen left, who we haven't met yet, and why she left, we do not know. Now, we also meet Peach Boy, who's played by Owen Teague, who I'm a big fan of. I interviewed him at Comic-Con last year, and he is the star of Kingdom of Planet of the Apes. And we learned that he found his love recently and is going to get married, so it makes his fate later on even more tragic. So he is that third part of the trio that robs the houses. Now, at the home, we meet Maeve, who is Robbie's niece, played by Emilia Jones, who is a friend of the channel. I've interviewed twice, so I'm really happy to see her getting a role like this and really getting to shine. We see that Maeve is the head of the house. She's just trying to make them a good dinner, and no one's taking it seriously. She's put in a situation where we'll learn later on, she talks about where the weight of the world is on her shoulders, in a situation she didn't even sign up for. And we learn more about that family story because we see that Robbie is telling the kids a bedtime story about Uncle Billy, his brother, who passed, and he's very close to him and he thinks about him every moment. So it's a big connection here to the family and more loss in this story. Now, a funny moment that was a little comic relief, which I thought really landed, was when Robbie says to Maeve, "You're allowed to do what you want now, you're 20. And she's like, "I'm 21. And he's like, "When did that happen?" And she says, "9 months ago." That was so funny to me. But we get to finally see our trio doing their thing here, where they have these creepy Halloween masks on and they are going to rob this trap house. Robbie has these soothing rituals that he did with his brother when they used to jump in the cold water. It's a nice setup because before Peach Boy will die and get shot later in the episode, he does this ritual that he saw Robbie do. But we'll see the difference is their first attempt in this episode is successful. It goes as smooth as ever. But you're wondering then, are they pushing their luck? Because the next day, they immediately get a new lead. And Cliff already gets bad vibes at this house they're scouting out, that the guy was looking at him funny. So all these things are red flags right away. Now, before we even see that next attempt at a robbery, I think the best scene in the episode comes about where Robbie is grabbing a joint in Maeve's room while she's on a date, but she comes home early, so he has to hide in the closet and then throws out the guy she's on a date with because he threatens to hit him. So when Robbie goes to apologize to Maeve, he refers to the house as his house, then says it's his brother's house, and this is where Maeve goes, "It's my house, which I allowed you to move in when you lost yours." She informs him she is miserable in the situation. She's like, "Karen takes off, now I'm raising her kids, which are your kids," and feels she has the weight of the world on her shoulders. This is incredible acting by Emilia Jones here. And Robbie says back, "Well, if you want to leave, well, at least eat better." So obviously gonna hit a soft spot. We saw a setup with the dinner scene, and she throws the drink in his face. That's what I love about the writing here, is that everything's set up to get a good payoff later on. There's a lot of connectivity here and well thought out. And the great writing here is when he says to her, "I can handle things here on my own." She says, "If I actually believed that for even half a second, I would have left a long time ago." Really great standout scene for me. Both actors, Tom Pelphrey and Emilia Jones, knocking out of the park. And you see Robbie's daughter comes out to Maeve and says, "Please don't leave." So showing that situation she's in, how it affects the kids, and the pressure she has. Really good setup here and just making these characters already so interesting. I'm also relieved to see a show doing something more about a middle-class neighborhood, because a lot of popular shows right now are always about the upper class, so it's nice to see something that's more middle-class, and I think more relatable to a lot of people. Okay, so we get this big moment now where there's this big robbery. Things go sour the minute they get to this house. Peach Boy shows his face, he loses his gun, and the guy they capture even says he recognizes Robbie's voice. They're having trouble finding the money, and of course this biker shows up. So Peach Boy gets shot. Then Cliff shoots the biker, Robbie shoots a man, and then Cliff shoots a woman. It's an absolute mess. They do get money at the end, but a kid comes out from the basement, and they end up bringing this kid home. We'll learn from the other side of the cops' investigation that this kid was put in this basement when he was misbehaving. So these are obviously terrible people. My only head-scratching moment to all of this and this incredible tense scene is why they left Peach Boy's body there on the stairs. Why wouldn't they take him with them? Obviously to honor his body and also to not have any evidence of somebody who could connect them to the crimes. I thought that was really weird, and I hope that's explained at some point. I'd love to hear your theories on that in comments and how you observe that, because I think it's just ridiculous they wouldn't take his body, especially how close they were with him. But overall, really good stuff on this side of the story. And you're already fascinated, I believe, with this character of Robbie really well and the people around him. Now let's go to everything Mark Ruffalo and FBI agent Tom Brandis. We see he loves bird watching. He's got the birdhouses outside. He loves his binoculars. And we see he prays at his bed, but hesitantly in the beginning. So this sets up us learning he used to be a priest for 8 years. And he's obviously struggling with his faith now. We also meet his daughter, Emily, who right away keeps her distance from him. And we'll learn more and more about the struggles their family's having, because we learn about their son Ethan, who's looking at 5 to 15 years jail time. He had a crime he did committed within the family. We don't know exactly what it was, but the lawyer tells Tom that it's crucial that the daughter is willing to speak on behalf of the son. It could be a huge difference in the case. When he brings this up to Emily, she says she still wants time to think about doing this. So it's very intriguing to learn about what happened with this family. And it's interesting, later on, we see a full photo of the family in the house. And there is another kid in the picture that doesn't include Emily or the brother and, of course, the mother. So we got to figure out what happened to them, what's going on there. Now, we also learn more about Tom. He's boozing hard in his Phillies cup at night. He's clearly a functioning alcoholic, and his daughter notices this. This is where the priest will even say, you know, he'll find his way, but it seems like the daughter's already losing faith in that. And we also get to meet his boss, Kathleen. Now, this is played by the Goonies' own Martha Plimpton, who does a great job in this one scene. We learn she's being let go, but she, in the meantime, wants him back out in the field, even though it's a really bad time for him because of what's going on with his son, and she needs a task force. She says 9 drug houses have been hit, 7 belong to members of a motorcycle gang, so explains the biker showing up. This motorcycle gang's a Dark Hearts, and the problem of this happening is they're retaliating and blaming other gangs for these robberies, causing just chaos in this area. So they got to find these guys who we know who they are. And then he's given a headquarters that has budget cuts. So it's this like worn down house in the middle of the woods. And we meet the task force of Lizzie, who's a hothead, Emilia, who's very proper and professional, and Anthony, House of Dragon Anthony, and they're all young. So it's interesting to see them work off this guy who's been in the FBI for years, then an older character in Tom. And I love Lizzie right away pointing out the mildew smell there and being concerned about it. Now, I also want to mention a moment, too, where Tom drops off his suit for his son in prison, but declines visiting him. So something's off there. There's definitely something with Tom where I feel like he knows his son did wrong. I think there's a distance he's keeping from his son, too. So I'm intrigued to learn about that. But you see his priest friend Daniel show up to his house, and he's witnessing how this guy is a drunk now and he's losing his faith. So we get a lot here about Tom, a lot about his past, but keeping mystery there too. And we see he's called in the middle of the night. About 4 bodies have been found. So this is the result of what we saw happening at the final robbery of the episode that went sour. And they also learned the cops that a kid might have been inside the house and connect the dots about the basement. So now I feel like it's going to start already crossing paths with these 2 characters now. It's going to be really intriguing to see how they affect each other's lives. And it's going to be looking like a show that is one person chasing after another. Should be fun if it's this strong character writing throughout, because it's really strong here. So overall, I'm giving this episode a 9. I thought this was a great premiere. It was nice that it was an hour and 5 minutes. So you're getting a nice meaty episode with a lot of intriguing characters, a lot of interesting intrigue put into the mystery of these characters too. You don't learn everything about them either, and you're kind of trying to see where this is all going to end up and how they're going to cross paths. So I thought it was really well done, and it had a really exciting closing scene, very tense. Let me know what you thought of it down below. I love to hear your thoughts. I read every comment, try to respond as many as I can. Hit that sub button, hit the notification bell, and follow me at Steve Varley Show on Instagram. All these things I'll be very grateful for, and I'll see you next week.